Jai Shri Ram, Har Har Mahadev. Welcome to this evening's satsang. We are going to commence this evening's satsang with some purificatory mantras, and you are expected to sprinkle some water at your puja place on yourself and all around you. Om Pavitraha Pavitro Va Sarvavastangatopi Va Yah Smaret Pundarikaksham Sabhahyabhyantraha Shuchi. Now sip water from the palm of your right hand, doing Hari Smaran, thinking of Bhagwan. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Om Narayanaya Namaha. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Now rinse your hands. Om Rishikeshaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Madhusudanaya Namaha. If you have a kus ring, you should put it onto your right hand ring finger. Om Pavitre Stho Vaishnavyo Saviturvaha Prasava Utpunamya Chidrena Pavitrena Suryasya Rashmibihi Tasya Te Pavitrapate Pavitraputasya Yatakamaha Pune Tachakeyam. You should now apply chandan, sandalwood paste, to your forehead using the thumb of your right hand, starting at the top of your nose, moving upwards. Om Chandanam Vandyate Nityam Pavitram Papanashanam Apadam Harate Nityam Lakshmir Vasati Sarvadham. If you have not lit your home lamp, you should light your lamp now. Om Bodhipa Tvam Brahmarupa Andhakara Nivaraka Imam Maya Kritam Pujang Grihastejo Pravardhaya Om Deepaya Namaha. Now sprinkle water on the Vedi, thinking of Mother Earth. Om Prithivi Tvaya Dhrita Loka Devi Tvam Vishnu Nadhrita Vanshadharya Mahan Devi Pavitrang Kuru Chasanam. We are now going to start with the recitation of Ved and other Dhyan mantras. Dhyan mantras means mantras that we can use while meditating on Bhagwan. Om. Om. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnur Gurur Devo Maheshwarah Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Dhyan Moolam Gurur Murtihi Puja Moolam Guru Padam Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam Moksha Moolam Guru Kripam. Om Swastina Indro Vridashravaha Swastinaha Pusha Vishwabhedaha Swastina Starkshorarishtanebhi Swastino Vrihaspatir Dadatu. Om Payah Pritivyam Paya Oshadishu पयो दिव्यंतरिक्षे पयो दाह पयस्वतिः प्रदिशः सन्तु मह्यम्. ओम विष्णोराराटमसि विष्णोः स्नप्रेस्थो विष्णोः स्यूरसि विष्णोर्ध्रुवसि वैष्णवमसि विष्णवे त्वा. ओम अग्निर्देवता वातो देवता सूर्यो देवता चंद्रमा देवता वसवो देवता रुद्रा देवता दित्या देवता मरुतो देवता विश्वे देवा देवता बृहस्पतिर्देवतेन्द्रो देवता वरुणो देवता. ओम द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षगं शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरौषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वगुं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सामा शान्तिरेधि. ओम विश्वानि देव सवितर्दुरितानि परासुवा यद्भद्रं तन्न आसुवा. ओम आनो भद्राः क्रतवो यन्तु विश्वतो दग्धासो अपरीतास उद्भिदाः देवानो यथा सदमिद्वृदेय सन्नप्रायुवो रक्षितारो दिवे दिवे. ओम देवानां भद्रा सुमतिर्जूयतां देवानागुं भ्रातिरभिनो निवर्तताम् देवानां गं सख्यम् उपसेदिमा वयन् देवान आयु प्रतिरन्तु जीवसे. ॐ तान् पूर्वयानि विदाहुमहे वयं भगं मित्रम् अदितिं दक्षमस्त्रिधम् अरयमणं वरुणागुं सोममश्विना सरस्वतिनः सुभगामयस्करात् ॐ तन्नो वातो मयुभुवातो भेषजं तन्माता पृथिवी तत्पिताद्यहो तद्घ्रावाणः सोमसुतो मयुभुवस्तदश्विनाशिनो तन्देष्ण्यायुवम् ॐ तमीशानं जगतस्तस्तु शाश्वतीं धियं जिन्वामवसेहुमहे वयं पूषा नो यथा वेद सामसद्वृदे रक्षिता पायुरधप्त स्वस्तये ॐ स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृदश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्योररिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ पृषदश्वामरुतः कृष्णिमातरः शुभं यावानो विदतेषु जग्मयः अग्निजिह्वा मनवः सूरचक्षुषो विषेणो देवा अवसागमन्निः ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवा भद्रं पश्येमाक्षवीर्यजैत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्ट्वाग्वंसंस्तनूभिर्व्यशेमहि देवहितं यदायुः ॐ शतमिन्नो शरदो वन्ति देवा यत्र नश्चक्रजरसन्तनूनां पुत्रासो यत्र पितरो भवन्ति मानो मध्या हृषितायुर्गन्तोः ॐ अदितिर्द्यौरदितिरन्तरिक्षमदितिर्माता स पिता स पुत्रः विश्वे देवा अदितिः पञ्चजना अदितिर्जातम् अदितिर्जनित्वम् ॐ ऋचं वाचं प्रपद्ये मनो यजुः प्रपद्ये साम प्राणं प्रपद्ये चक्षुः श्रोत्रं प्रपद्ये वागौजः सहोजौ मही प्राणापानौ ॐ तं पत्नीभिरनुगच्छेम देवाः पुत्रैर्भ्रातृभिरुतवा हिरण्यै नाकं गृभ्णानः सुकृतस्य लोके तृतीये पृष्ठे अधिरोचने दिवः ॐ आयुष्यं भर्चस्य गुं रायस्पोषमोद्भिदम् इदगुं हिरण्यं भर्चस्व जैत्राय विशतादु माम् ॐ द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षगुं शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरौषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वगुं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सामा शान्तिरेधि ॐ यतो यतः समीहसे ततो नो अभयं कुरु शन्नः कुरु प्रजाभ्यो भयन्नः पशुभ्यः ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः सुशान्तिर्भवतु ॐ हे हे रम्ब त्वमे ये हि अम्बिका त्र्यम्बकात्मज सिद्धिबुद्धिपते त्रयक्षलक्षलाभ पितुः पितः नागास्य नागहार त्वं गणराज चतुर्भुज भूषितः स्वायुधे दिव्यै पाशाङ्कुश परश्वधे आवाहयामि पूजार्थं रक्षार्थं च ममाकृतः इहागत्य गृहाणा त्वं पूजां क्रतुं च रक्ष मे ॐ मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये अञ्जनीगर्भसम्भूतं कपीन्द्रं सचिवोत्तमं रामप्रियं नमस्तुभ्यं हनुमान् रक्ष सर्वदा ॐ ध्यायेदाजानुबाहुं धृतशरधनुषं भद्रपद्मासनस्थं पीतं भासोऽवसानं नवकमलादलस्पर्धिनेत्रं प्रसन्नं वामाङ्कारूढः सीतामुखकमलमिल्ललोचनं नीरधावं नानालङ्कारदीप्तं दततमुर्जटामण्डलं रामचन्द्रम् ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दिव्यैस्तवे वेदे साङ्गपदाक्रमोपनिषदेर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततत्कतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुसुरासुरगण देवाय तस्मै नमः ॐ वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् ॐ शान्तं पद्मासनस्थं शशधरमुकुटं पञ्चवक्त्रं त्रिनेत्रं शूलं वज्रं च खड्गं परशुमभयधं दक्षिणागे वहन्तम् नागपाशाञ्चगण्ठां डमरुकसहितम् आङ्कुशं वामभागे नानालङ्कारदीप्तं स्फटिकमणिनिभं पार्वतीशं नमामि ॐ या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्मच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निशेषजाड्यापहा ॐ लक्ष्मी क्षीरसमुद्रराजतनयां श्रीरङ्गधामेश्वरी दासीभूतसमस्तदेववनितां लोकैकदीपाङ्कुराम् श्रीमन्मन्धकटाक्षलब्धविभव ब्रह्मेन्द्र गङ्गाधरां तां त्रैलोक्यकुटुम्बिनीं सरसिजां वन्दे मुकुन्द प्रियाम् ॐ सीताराम पवनसुत हनुमान राधे कृष्ण की जय. We'll now have Chalisa and a bhajan, and when we return, after that, we will do Gita Path. Mishen Bhai, just want to check that you're getting Hanuman Chalisa going. Dear devotees, we are going to recite the Hanuman Chalisa today. We're having some slight technical difficulties. I trust that all of you will join in the recitation of the Hanuman Chalisa. Put your hands together and focus your minds on him. Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raja Nij Man Mukhar Sudhar Barano Raghubar Bimal Yasha Jodhayak Palachar Buddhihin Tanu Janike Sumiro Pavan Kumar Bal Buddhi Vedya Dehu Mohi Haro Kalesh Vikar जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी, कंचन बरन विराज सुबेशा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केशा, हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूछ जनेवो साजे, शंकर सुवन केशरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन, विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर, प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया, सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा, भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे, लाय सजीवन लखन जियाय, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाय, रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत सम भाई, सहस बदन तुमरो यश गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे, सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीषा, नारद शारद सहित अहिसा, यम कुबेर दिखपाल चहाते, कवि कोविद कही सके कहाते, तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाए राजपद दीन्हा, तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना, युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानो, प्रभु मुद्रिका मिली मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि कई अचरज नाही, दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते, राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे, सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरण, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना, आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाकते कापे, भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे, नाशे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा, संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो को हिलावे, तासु अमित जीवन पल पावे, चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुमरे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा, तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, अंत काल रघुपति पुर जाहि, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाहि, और देवता चित्त न धरहि, हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करहि, संकट हरे मिटहि सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाहि, यो शत बार पाठ कर कोहि, छूटहि बंदी महा सुख होहि, जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा, पवन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। धीरज भाई, should we move on to Gita part? Okay, we're going to move on to Gita part. Dear brothers and sisters, I hope that you can hear me. We are doing today verse number 12 of the 7th chapter. of Bhagavad Gita. And once again, I appeal to you to try to read what is on the screen. Join me in the recitation. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Nath Narayana Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Nath Narayana Vasudeva Ye Cheva Satvika Bhava Rajasastamasaschaye Matta Eveti Tan Vidhi न त्वाहं तेषु ते मयि श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव बोलिए श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय Bhagwan says to Arjuna, Ye cheva satvika. He says, whichever satvika bhava, that means beings that are born through the mode of goodness. Satvika means the mode of goodness. Rajasic or tamasic, that means in the mode of rajas and in the tamasic mode. Mata eveti, you need to know. Tan vidhi means you need to know, Arjuna. Mata eveti, all of them have come from me. So we have been taught over the years that we need to move beyond these three modes of nature that we call sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. We believe that moving between these three modes of nature, we are bound to this world. Yet in this verse, Bhagwan is saying to Arjun, Mata eveti, they have come from me. Na tvaham teshu te mayi. He says, but be aware that I am not in them, neither are they in me. Now we know that God pervades everything. He is omnipotent. He is omnipresent. There is no place where God is not. Now, why is Bhagwan saying that he is not in these modes? He is not in these modes, and these modes are not in him. These different modes of nature. Let's try and put it into understanding. So, beings come into this world. Every minute, there's beings coming into this world. Actually, every second. And every second, there are beings leaving this world. Souls are leaving their body. What is it that is coming? Excuse me. What is it that is coming? What is it that is going? Let us try to understand that. So there is a spirit that becomes bound to the five gross elements. So the Atma, our souls, gets attached to five gross elements and five subtle elements. Okay. So the five gross elements we know are earth, water, fire, ether, sky, etc. And we know that the subtle elements are attached or come from these gross elements, and they are called the tanmatras, or the subtle states of the five elements. Okay, that is the mind, the senses, etc. All of these get combined now, and they form what we know as a being. But all beings that come in this world have the same kind of trend, the same kind of DNA, the same kind of composition. It is gross elements, it is subtle elements, and what is found within them? A eternal spirit called the Atma. Now, when all of them come together, in whatever kind of body you can imagine, any kind of species that exists, all of them are conditioned by these three modes of nature called sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. So Bhagavan is saying, besides himself, all beings in this world are exposed to this prakriti of his. Prakriti, loosely translated, means this nature. Okay? And this nature is called apara prakriti. Apara prakriti means his lower nature. So we're talking about God who is all perfect, right? But there is a nature of his that allows the sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic to exist. And that's why the word lower, I'm using it in inverted commas. I should actually say it is a modified nature of his that allows the sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic to exist. So God creates all of this. He pervades all of this, yet he is not contaminated by it. How are we going to understand this, what Bhagwan is telling us? A good example is to understand the atmosphere. So we live on the earth, and there is an atmosphere that surrounds the earth. And beyond that immediate atmosphere, there are other atmospheres. But this atmosphere that is closest to the earth allows the formation of clouds. So from the atmosphere, a cloud forms. First, there is nothing. All we know is that there is the atmosphere, there is clear skies. And after some time, through certain combinations of elements, a cloud forms. But what is the source of that cloud? It comes from the atmosphere that we exist in. Now, although the cloud has come from the atmosphere and it is supported by the atmosphere is not contaminated by the cloud in any way. In other words, the atmosphere retains its own properties and existence. The cloud, on the other hand, is constantly moving. It gets swayed by the wind. It becomes darker and lighter in color. It becomes heavier and lighter in weight and raindrops. There is a combination within this cloud of vapor and water. So the cloud can be described as these three qualities, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic, constantly on the move in a state of flux. But the atmosphere is not interested in what the cloud is doing. All the atmosphere is doing is providing the support so the cloud can exist. Whether the cloud becomes heavy, whether it pours down rain, the atmosphere doesn't get involved in that. All the atmosphere does is provide the substratum. Now, Bhagwan does exactly the same thing. Bhagwan Sri Krishna is telling us, he says, listen, I am the Paramatma, you are the Atma, and all the qualities that you exist around you, Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic, have come from me. I have created it because nothing can exist without me. But don't think for 1 minute that I am affected by that Rajasic, Tamasic, and Sattvic. You are being affected by it because you are a mortal. You are a ordinary Atma at this point in time. When you evolve further, you will learn to also become immune to this Rajasic, Tamasic, and Sattvic modes. But for now, you need to understand that those qualities don't exist in me. I don't allow them. I have created them. I am their master, but I don't allow them to affect me. So Bhagwan is like this lotus flower that is found on the lake. See, the lake exists with water, muddy water, etc. But the lotus flower has put itself above that. The water doesn't touch the beautiful lotus flower. It remains intact and beautiful at all times. This is what Bhagwan is explaining to us here. So we cannot judge Bhagwan by how we are affected by these modes of nature, and more especially when we're reading about his pastimes, where he's behaving like an ordinary human being, taking the form of an ordinary human being, etc. By understanding this verse here, we understand that Bhagwan is mostly acting. He is mostly acting in those leelas because he's not being affected by all of this. He remains aloof of all of it. We will now move on to Ramcharitmanas. Jai Shri Krishna. Today we are reading Balkand, Doha number 300, 300. But before we start that, we're going to do our Ramayan Stuti. And once again, I appeal to all of you to join in. छेहि सुमिरत सिद्धि होय सीताराम गणनायक करिवर बदन करो अनुग्रह सोय सीताराम बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सदन मूक होहि बाचाल सीताराम पंगु चढ़हि गिरिवर गहना जासु कृपा सु दयालु सीताराम द्रवो सकल कलिमल दहना नील सरोरुह श्याम सीताराम तरुण अर्ण बारिज नयना करो सुमम उरधाम सीताराम सदा क्षीर सागर सयना कुंद इंदु समदेह सीताराम उमा रमण करुणा अयना जाहि दीन परनेह सीताराम करो कृपा मर्दन मयना बंदो गुरु पद कंज सीताराम कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरि महामोहतम पुंज सीताराम जासु वचन रवि कर निकर सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय। कथा आरंभ होता है, सुनो वीर हनुमान हे रामा, सुनो वीर हनुमान आसन को प्रभु आइए, सिया सखा सहित भगवान सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय। सबके उर निर्भर हर्षु पूरित पुलक शरीर कबही देखी भे नयन भरी राम लखन दोहु वीर। जनकपुर नगरी आए राजा राम, आए राजा राम, आए राजा राम, आए राजा राम, आए राजा राम। जनकपुर नगरी आए राजा राम, जनकपुर नगरी आए राजा राम। गरजहि गज घंटा धुनि घोरा, रत रव भाजी हिंस चहुओरा। निधरि गनहि गुरमरहि निशाना, निज पराई कछु सुनिय न काना। आए राजा राम, जनकपुर नगरी आए राजा राम। महावीर भूपति के द्वारे, रज हो ही जाहि पशान पबारे। चढ़ी अठारिन देख ही नारी, लिए आरती मंगल थारी। आए राजा राम, जनकपुर नगरी आए राजा राम, जनकपुर नगरी आए राजा राम। गावहि गीत मनोहर नाना, अति आनंद न जाई बखाना। तब सुमंत्र दुहि स्यंदन साजी, जो तेर बिहिय निंदक बाजी। आए राजा राम, जनकपुर नगरी आए राजा राम। दो रथ रुचिर भूप पहियाने, नहीं सारद पही जाहि बखाने। राज समाजु एक रथ साजा, दूसर तेज पुंज अति ब्राजा। आए राजा राम, जनकपुर नगरी आए राजा राम, आए राजा राम, आए राजा राम, आए राजा राम, आए राजा राम। जनकपुर नगरी आए राजा राम। तेहि रत रुचिर बसिष्ठ कहु, हर्षि बड़ाई नरेशु। आपु चढ़े स्यंदन सुमिरी, हर गुरु गौरी गणेश सिया वर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय. Jai Sri Ram to all of you. When I was growing up and there was a wedding, the bharat was quite a number of people. The atmosphere was absolutely amazing as well. There was a lot of excitement. People would dress up, would gather together, would gather together and make quite a lot of noise with our hooters of our cars, etc., moving towards the place where the wedding was going to take place. I'm not sure if today it exists with as much pomp and splendor as it did back then. But I can see in Ramcharitmanas um, that that kind of atmosphere did exist. Maybe it's something we must think about. So Tulsidas ji says to us, everybody sabake ura. Ura means the heart, nirabhar. Everybody's heart was absolutely ecstatic about trying to see Prabhu Sri Ram, trying to see Ram and Lakshman. When will we see them? Puritaha pulaka sarira. Even their bodies were reacting. So sometimes when we are very excited or happy about something, the body starts to react almost as if it is not being controlled by us. The hair stands on end, etc. That is called pulaka sarira. They are caused by chemical reactions that are initiated from the mind when one is overjoyed or excited. It is something that happens naturally and it is instigated by something that is very special. So it means that these people were really excited about seeing Prabhu Sri Ram and Lakshman, and they kept asking themselves, "Kabahi deki be nayana bhari." When will we satisfy our eyes by getting darshan of them for some period of time? When you have excessive love for somebody, there's no uh, uh, there's no limit to the time that you want to be with them and see them, etc. La Rama Lakhano Dohu Bira. They know that these are two champions, they are two braves, they are great warriors, and they want to see both of them. So the method of transportation here is elephants and horses. Tulsidas ji says to us, Garajahi Gaja Gantha Dhuni Ghora. The elephants blew their trumpets loudly. I'm not sure what the right word in English for that is, but Garjahi. So they blew their trumpets and they had bells around them. The elephants were decorated with bells, and blowing their trumpets and moving around, these bells rang. And they created a great sound, a tumultuous sound. Ratarava Bhaji Hinsa Chahu Ora. This sound of chariots and horses filled all the directions. Even the sound of a thundercloud would not have been heard. Such was the noise that was coming from this great gathering. And even people who tried to speak couldn't even hear what they were saying. That is how loud it was. That is how much of excitement. It seems that the elephants and the horses too were very, very excited too for this to happen. Our Mahabir Bhupati ke dwar. At the entrance, the gates, the doorway of Raja Dashrath, Bhupati, lots of people gathered. So today I know we all go straight to the hall. We don't go to the Dullah's house and move with him, etc. We go straight to the hall. But here it says that a huge crowd gathered at Raja Dashrath's home, and that is because they all wanted to be part of this party, this savari. Rajohi jai pashana phabare. if somebody pattar peka, so they threw a stone in that crowd, that stone would have been turned to dust. That is how dense the gathering was. So many horses, elephants, and people, the stone would have got turned into dust. And the ladies wanted to see what is going on. So, Chadi Atharina Dekihi Nari. All the ladies, what did they do? They climbed onto the rooftops. Now, I don't know how many of you have been to villages in India, but if you have, even if it's a single story building or a double story, the roof was always slabbed, and there's a wall at the borders of the roof, and there's a staircase going up to the roof. Up till today, I see that this design in the houses, and up there on the roofs, people plant things. They have charpai. Charpai means the four-legged bed where they go and relax, etc. And they also hang clothes there. But also from there, they can see all around their property. So, for any reason, if they wanted to know what was going on, all they did was from their house, they climbed up the ladder and they were on this rooftop that they could use almost as a balcony. Now, the ladies used this opportunity. They didn't want to be part of the dust, the horses, all the men, the soldiers, etc. So they climbed up onto the roofs and they were watching from there. And what did they do? These ladies were very industrious ladies. Whenever you read in Ramayana about things like this, you must pay attention to what the ladies were doing. They didn't waste their time doing something insignificant. Although they didn't want to be in the rut of things there, and I don't think they were traveling either. But what did they do? Liye arati mangalathari. Look at how smart they were. They got onto the roof and they prepared with them tharis and they were doing arti. So when we have wedding, when the dulha arrives, we do parchan. Now look here, even when they were leaving, there was a kind of parchan being done. What were they doing? They were waving these lit lamps or the lit camphor, etc., to remove any kind of negativity for all the people that were going on this savari, that were going on this journey. How beautiful, how intelligent. In addition to that, to enhance what they were doing, Gavahi Geeta Manoharanana. They sang beautiful festal songs and auspicious songs while they turned this arti. Okay? And Ati Anand Jayi Bakana. Nobody can describe how beautiful, pleasing, and auspicious all of this looked, what they were doing. Because they didn't just light up the place with these diyas, even the sound of what they were doing. Tabasu mantra duhi syandana saji. Then the chief minister of Raja Dashrath, his name was Sumanta. Sumanta. Suman. And what did he do? He decorated two chariots. He took two chariots and he started to decorate them. Our Jote Rabi Haya Ninda Kabaji. He also coupled these chariots with horses, suitable horses, to the extent that Tulsidas ji describes these horses as being able to run faster than the horses of Bhagwan Surya. Let's put this into perspective. The sun moves in the sky, okay? Or we believe that the sun moves in the sky. The sun rises in the east, we say, and it sets in the west. For what that's worth, let us assume for 1 minute that the sun is moving, and our scriptures say that the deity presiding over the sun is called Surya, Bhanu, Bhaskar. These are some of his names. And it says that the sun moves because it is yoked, it is pulled by horses. So Bhagwan Surya sits in the middle of the sun, and he has a chariot and he has horses that move at a tremendous speed. Okay? And Tulsidas ji is saying to us that these horses that Sumant used will outrun those horses of Bhagwan Surya. Do rata ruchira bhupa pahiyane. Both these chariots were brought close to the king. Nahi sarada pahi jai bakana. No one can describe how beautiful all of this looked, including the chariots. They were exceptionally decorated. And remember, when royalty moved, they would put up special flags on those chariots, decorate it appropriately. They would do puja for the chariots. This is called Rat Puja. And this is where we got the idea of doing puja for our cars when we were buying them. Because the Rat, the chariots that were used, or the carriages that were used in ancient times, people did puja for them. And they would tie auspicious things on the chariot. So today we still tie red string on the steering of our cars. This is where we got all these ideas from. Raja Samaj Ekarata Saja Dusara Teja Punja Atibrata. One he decorated it with all the paraphernalia of royalty. So the king moves with a special flag. Every kingdom has a special flag. If I remember correctly, the flag of Raja Dashrath had an emblem of Bhagwan Surya on it. Because he was a Surya Vanshi, he was born in the Surya dynasty, and his Ishta Devata was Surya Bhagwan. He used to worship Bhagwan Surya every day. And the other one was just as beautiful and uh, lovely as that one. And then he says, Tehi Rata Ruchira Vasishta Kahu. उस सुंदर रथ पर राजा वशिष्ठ जी को हर्ष पूर्वक चढ़ाकर फिर स्वयं, let's do this in parts. On one of the chariots he put Rishi Vasisht, Muni Vasisht on there. So it shows you the prominence that he gave to Rishi Vasisht. He made him sit on the chariot first, and then only did he climb onto the chariot. Harshi Chadahi Naresu. Very happily then he climbed up onto the chariot. And what did he do when he was climbing up the chariot? This is very exciting. It says, Sumiri Hara Guru Gauri Ganeshu. He did dhyan. He thought of who? Hara, Bhagwan Shiv. Guru, he thought of his Guru, who is Vasishtji. Gauri, Mata Parvati, और Ganeshu, Bhagwan Ganesh. He thought of all of them. He did pranam to them in his mind, and as he was climbing onto this chariot. If we put Bhagwan before all things that we do, Bhagwan will be in all things that we do, and therefore we will be successful in most things that we do. This is the beautiful message that we are getting from Raja Dashrath. We'll conclude today's Ramcharitmanas Katha here. कथा विसर्जन होता है सुनो वीर हनुमान आसन को प्रभु जाइए सिया सखा सहित भगवान सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय. Dear devotees, tomorrow is Kartik Purnima. It is the last day of Kartik Mass. It is an exceptionally important day in our calendar. If you have not lit lamps during the whole of Kartik, tomorrow is the day you must kind of catch up. You must light lamps. You should light lamp in the morning with your morning puja. Tomorrow is also Dev Diwali. The Devatas celebrate Diwali tomorrow because on this day, Bhagwan Shiv destroyed Tripura, the demon called Tripura. And on that evening, everybody lights lamps and celebrates Diwali. A second Diwali called Dev Diwali. All the Devatas come to earth tomorrow. So your home should also have at least one lamp lit in the evening. If you can fast tomorrow, it is excellent. If you can perform Sri Satyanarayan Vrat Katha tomorrow, it is also excellent. There will be Katha at the Durban Hindu Temple tomorrow. If you are available, I appeal to you to attend. There will be offerings of lambs allowed there, and there will be discourse on Kartik Purnima and Tripura, Bhagwan Shiv, and Bhagwan Sri Krishna. And there will also be a special arti called Badrinath Arti. If you are available, I appeal to you to join. Whatever happens, do not let Kartik Purnima go unnoticed. Get the benefit of observing it. Dheeraj Bhai, can I hand over to you now? Okay, we still seem to be having some difficulties. I'm going to ask all of you to join me in chanting. We're going to chant Bhagwan's names 10 times first, and then we'll proceed to Arti, okay? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mokshyamamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mokshyamamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Urvarukamiv Bandhanat Mrityor Mokshyamamritat. We are now going to do. Dhiraj Bhai, are you able to get some music playing?
No, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, the audio stream has failed.
Okay, I'll sing the Aarti then. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे जो ध्यावे पल पावे दुख विन से मन का स्वामी दुख विन से मन का सुख संपत्ति घर आवे सुख संपत्ति घर आवे कष्ट मिटे तन का ओम जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता तुम मेरे शरण कहूम किसकी स्वामी शरण कहूम किसकी तुम बिन और न दूजा स्वामी बिन और न दूजा आश करो जिसकी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा तुम अंतरयामी स्वामी तुम अंतरयामी पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता। मैं मूरख कल कामी मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी कृपा करो भरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम हो एक अगोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति। किस विधि मिलो दयामय किस विधि मिलो दयामय तुमको मैं कुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। दीन बंधु दुख हरता तुम रक्षक मेरे स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे। करुणा हस्त बढ़ाऊ करुणा हस्त बढ़ाऊ शरण परा तेरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। विषय विकार मिठाओ पाप हरो देवा स्वामी पाप हरो देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। प्रेम सभा सब मिलकर निश दिन यही गावो स्वामी निश दिन यही गावो। पार लगा दो नैया पार लगा दो नैया यही अरज गाओ। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट भक्त जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। कर्पूर गौरम करुणावतारम संसार सारम भुजगेन्द्रहारम सदा वसंतम हृदयारविंदे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष मंगलाय तनोहरि। सर्वमंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते। ॐ यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि तानि विनश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। Put your hands together. We'll now do the concluding mantras. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santo Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyet Dukha Bhag Bhavet। Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ अपराधसहस्राणि क्रियन्ते हर्निशं मया दासोऽयमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व परमेश्वर। आवाहनं न जानामि विसर्जनं पुरान् चैवनामि क्षमस्व परमेश्वर। अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मत्कारुण्य भावेन रक्ष त्वं परमेश्वर। बोलिए विघ्नहर्ता गणेश भगवान की जय। जगत जननी पार्वती माता की जय। शिव शंकर भगवान की जय। सीतारामचंद्र भगवान की जय। लक्ष्मण जी की जय। महावीर स्वामी बजरंग बली की जय। श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की जय। श्री बालकृष्ण भगवान की जय। गंगा यमुना सरयू सरस्वती मैया की जय। श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। ओम नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव हर। जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे श्याम। Jai Shri Ram. I wish all of you a wonderful Kartik Purnima. Celebrate it like how the Devas celebrate it.